Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The Dharma, infinitely profound and subtle, is rarely encountered even in a million kalpas. Now we are able to hear, study, and follow it. May we fully realize the Tathagata's true meaning. We are now on the subject of the 12 links of interdependence. In the previous talk, Shifu gave an overview of the meaning of these 12 links. So if nothing else, if you understand clearly the overview, that is pretty good. In the next 2 or 3 talks, Shifu will go into a lot more detail about the 12 links. So, first of all, the 12 links describe how karma or the law of causality works. Now we want to look at 3 parts. The first is called affliction. The second is action. The third is effect. Affliction refers to our deluded state of mind. Our mind that is in ignorance. We have delusions about what we see and understand. And because of that, we have formed the ego self. And from the ego self, we look at this world, we react to this world, often with the 3 poisons: greed, anger, and ignorance. Okay, so these are affliction, krisha. These are the seeds to the kind of karma that we generate. Okay, and the second is action or deeds or karma. Because of our mental state, because of our affliction, we think things, we plan our actions, we say things, we do things. So that has effects onto this world, both beneficial and harmful. So in the second part, we create the karma. The karma is not created out of nothing. It's created out of our mental state, right? So when our mental state is more awakened, more enlightened, more good, then we create better karma. We bring more benefit to this world. On the other hand, the more afflicted we are, the more self-centered we are, the more greedy or angry we are, then we create very bad karma that harms the world. Okay? And so that harm or that benefit, these are the effects. That's the third part. These are the effects that we have onto this world. But the effects doesn't end there. The effects also come back to us. That's the law of causality. So when I create bad karma, I'm going to suffer in the future. If I create good karma, I'm going to have blessings or merits or other happiness coming back to me in the future. Right? So that 3 parts of is needed for us to understand how karma works: affliction or krisha, action or karma, and effects. And the effect, starting from affliction, from ignorant mind, is basically dukkha, suffering. All right. So now the 12 links describe the samsaric cycle, the endless suffering cycle of birth, aging, rebirth, and over and over and over. Now, to understand the 12 links in more detail, let us look at them one by one, and in terms of the 3 parts of the karma process. So here in the lecture notes, I have marked words, terms in brown color and in blue color. So the terms in brown color refers to the affliction part, the first part of the karma process. The terms in blue color refers to the second part, the action part. And the words in plain black color refers to the effects, the results, the consequence part of the karma process. So the 12 links: ignorance, intentional action, consciousness, mind and form, six senses, contact, feeling. These first 7, we have all 3 parts. Ignorance is the affliction, is the beginning. Our mind in a state of ignorance with the ego self at the center. And so what we think, what we say, what we do, which is the second part, intentional action, or also called volition, or mental formation, or action intentions. That's the second part. That's the second part. The second term is what creates the karma, right? And then number 3 to 7, the links from number 3 to 7 are the consequences of our past mindset and karma. So karma we have created in the past, let's say a past life, in previous lifetimes, results in my life and body and the encounters of my life in this present lifetime. And that is 3 through 7. Okay? So, affliction, action of the past results in the human form that I have in this life, results in my life. And that's spelled out in number 3 through 7. Let's look at number 1, ignorance. The mind of ignorance, which generates the 3 poisons, thoughts of greed, anger, ignorance, right? So this is a lot to talk about already. What kind of ignorance do we have? We don't understand the nature of ourselves. We don't understand karma, how karma works. We may not understand how this world, the reality of this world. So that's our ignorance, okay? In particular, we have misunderstanding about ourselves, right? So we have talked about this extensively in the Heart Sutra before. We talk about the emptiness of the 5 skandhas, right? Okay, so that is helping to clear away, to destroy, to end that ignorance. So ignorance refers to a mundane person. Well, it doesn't have to be a person. It could be an animal, it could be other sentient beings. A mundane being which is not enlightened. In that state of mind, we tend to create things, we create karma. And that's the second part. The second part, intentional action, also translated as volition and mental formation. But here it actually covers physical action as well, right? So that's why Shifu did not translate it as volition. So from ignorance, 3 types of karma are created: mental karma, verbal karma, and physical karma. What I think can actually harm somebody. What I say can definitely harm somebody. What I do can also harm somebody. Or what I think, what I say, what I do can bring happiness to somebody, can help somebody, can save a life. The second link, intentional action. Samskara is what creates the karma. But at this point in the 12 links, These first two links refers to things we already done in the past. So what I have done in the past, out of my ignorant mind, I created some actions in the past. As a result, my life, in this life, I was conceived as a fetus. I take a rebirth. That is number 3, consciousness. So the consciousness refers to when I was conceived, when my previous life ended, I took a rebirth into my mother's womb, and as the fetus is formed, as the egg is joined by the sperm and the fetus is formed, there's consciousness. There's consciousness already. My consciousness is trapped into this fetus because of my karma with my parents. So at that point, there is consciousness already. Now, do I get reborn as a human being, or as a dog, or as a pig, or as a cockroach, or as a snake, or as a hungry ghost, or as whatever else? Well, that depends on the previous karma, right? The fact that we are born as human beings in this life, that means that we have more or less practiced the 5 precepts. No killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no verbal misconduct, and no intoxicants. Maybe not perfectly necessarily, but more or less we follow these 5 precepts in our previous life, and therefore we have good enough karma to be born as a human being. But even as human beings, we are reborn in all different parts of the earth, right? So individual karmas of the past vary. So at this point, I'm reborn as consciousness. And as the fetus develops, the consciousness is tied with the physical form of the fetus. But the limbs, the sense organs have not been specialized, have not been developed yet. So at that point of the development of the fetus, it is called mind and form. Mind refers to the mental part, form refers to the body. At this point, the body is just a small fetus. But the mental and the physical part are tied together. And number 5, 6 senses. That means still in the mother's womb, my sense organs begin to develop. The body, the form begin to specialize. So we have eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, limbs, and so on. The body organs begin to develop as the fetus matures into a baby. But however, inside the womb, the 6 senses doesn't have a lot of opportunity to make contact, to perceive, right? So number 6, contact refers to when the baby is born. When the baby comes out of the mother's womb, the 6 senses become fully active. The baby begin to hear, begin to see different things, begin to feel, begin to smell, and so on, and so on, and so on. So that's what number 6 is about, contact. Now you know that some babies are born in a relatively poor or unhealthy environment, so they may be weaker, they may be more prone to virus or bacteria, they don't have clean water. Or some babies are born in a very nice environment and it's very sanitary and the best medical care. Why the difference? Why? We say babies are innocent, they haven't done anything. Why do some babies have a good life and some babies have a very tough life? Well, that is because of the ignorance and intentional action, the past karma, the karma we have created in the past life. All right, that results in our physical body and our mind erodes in this mind and the body, this consciousness in the body in this life. That's the contact. What about feeling? Well, as the senses is in contact with the world, with the form, sight, smell, taste, touch, and so on, feelings are generated. Yeah? So we see pretty things, we see ugly things, we hear nice sound, like the sound of the mother, or we hear nasty sound, like squeaking sound, and we taste food that we like or taste food that we don't like. And then the body is wrapped in a soft cloth or a rough cloth, and so on and so on. So we have all kinds of feelings coming from the six senses. Basically, as the baby grows up, all the way through old age and to the point of death, things happen to us in our life, always create feelings. So if we have a tough life, a lot of these feelings will be unpleasant feelings, will be suffering, will be pain, illness, which lead to unpleasant feelings. But if we have a relatively good life, then a lot of things that we encounter in this life are pleasant, results in pleasant feelings. So, hey, my life is pretty smooth, I have it pretty well, I'm never hungry for a day, and I have really good food, I make money easily, I have a good job, and so on. So my feelings that arise in this life are usually pretty decent, not very harsh. Why? You could have two people equally intelligent, working equally hard. One person still have a lot of suffering, another person have a lot of happiness. Why such difference in their feelings? Because of karma. So that's why Shifu says number 3 to number 7, referring to our being born, growing up, encounter things in this life. A lot of things we encounter in this life, we bring onto ourselves, right? But then a lot of things that happen to us, we didn't cause it. It just happened to me. It just happened. I'm driving, I'm following the traffic rules, and then somebody hits my car, I have an accident. I didn't ask for it. Why would something like that happen? So whatever happens, good or bad, that we didn't cause in this life is because of past karma. So number 3 to number 7, my experiences, whether I'm healthy or I'm unhealthy, whether I'm tend to be fat or tend to be skinny or tend to look really good or whatever. These are the effects or consequences of the karma that I created in the past, and that's captured in the first 2 links: ignorance and intentional action from the past. Okay, so the first 2 links refers to the past life. The causes from the past life leads to the effects of this life. So 3 through 7 links refers to the effects of the past that bears out, that unfolds in this life. So we do not complain about what is happening to me, why it is happening to me. Rather, we understand it is from my karma in the past. Now, so if we understand this, am I doomed? If I happen to have a tough life, if I've been suffering most of my life, and it's from karma that I've done in the past, right? So what can I do? Am I doomed for this life? No, of course not. That's why we need to understand the next 5 links. The next 5 links. The next 5 links, if we look at the terms on the lecture notes, the 8 and 9 are brown, which means they refers to the affliction part of the karma process. In other words, craving and grasping is the mental state, the afflicted mental state of a mundane person. When I have pleasant feeling, I say, oh, I like that. That's pleasurable. I want more. That's called craving. I want more and more and more. I'm attached to it. I want to hold on to it. I want to pursue it. I want more of it. So, as a result, we generate greed. Or when the feeling is unpleasant, I don't like that. I hate it. You are upsetting me, right? So the feeling is not good, and then our mental state, the mundane person's mental state is loathing. Oh, I don't like it. I hate it. I'm upset. I don't like you. I want a revenge. So that's the opposite of craving, is loathing. So number 8 refers to both cases, craving and loathing. Okay, I hate it. So that is an ignorant reaction. That's part of the ignorance of the first link, except it's happening in this life. So when we talk about the first link, ignorance in the past life, here refers exactly to number 8 and number 9, craving and grasping. In other words, we have created ignorance and intentional action in the past. What do we do in this life? Craving, grasping, and being. Okay? So, but we talk about it in a little more detail because this life is more important to understand. Past is past. We need to understand it, but not in such great detail. We need to understand our mental state in greater detail in this life. That's why when we talk about the ignorance part, the mental state, we go into more detail. From feeling, we have craving. From craving, we have grasping. What is grasping? Grasping is making plans, mental plans to get more, to pursue, to act out on the greed. I have a cake. I tasted cake before. It's pleasurable. I want more. I want more. I want 1 piece. I want 2 pieces. I want 3 pieces. This is, you think about it. You think about how I can get more. That's grasping. Okay? Up to this point, craving and grasping is still a mental state. So that refers to the ignorant part, which is the affliction. The first part of the 3 parts of the karma process, affliction. And from grasping, we turn that into action. That's number 10, being. Being, or also translated as becoming, existing, refers to something is created, some action is created, some karma, some deeds are created. So, I want more. So I go out and buy it, I put it in my mouth, I chew it, I eat another one. That is the being, that's number 10. So that karma is created. Or the opposite could happen. I had an unpleasant feeling and I really dislike it, and I don't like you because you say those things to me or you did those things to me. I don't like it. It was not a good feeling. So I do something to hurt you. That is also being, creating karma to fight you, to argue with you, to hurt you, to whatever. So either way, we create karma. So Number 10, being, correspond to the intentional action link in the past life. In the past life, we have ignorance and intentional action. In this life, we have craving, grasping, and being. This really refers to the same process. The affliction, the action. Now, with actions being done in this life, what happens? Our future life is shaped. So the karma that we create, number 10, the karma that we create directly shapes our future. And that's the effect part. The third part of the action, the karma process. The effects will bear out, will unfold in our future life. So let's say I'm really greedy, but I'm smart, so I created a business that cheated a lot of people, and then I made a lot of unethical money. Hey, I'm successful, I have a good life, I can enjoy my life, and so on and so on. But then at the cost of hurting a lot of people. If that's the karma that I created, then in my future life, I may be reborn as a hungry ghost. What is a hungry ghost? It is a form of sentient being that's always hungry, always thirsty, and never have enough to drink or eat. It is because they have taken resources, taking others to be their own. And as a result, they will suffer for a long time as a hungry ghost. That's the effects of the karma. On the other hand, I'm pretty successful in my career, and I make a lot of money, and I make a lot of offerings, a lot of donations to the Buddhist temple, to support Shifus, to give to charity organizations, to help people when they needed. That's the kind of karma that I create. Then in the next life, I may be born in a wealthy family, everything without even working for it, because I create so much merit in this life. So that's number 11 and 12. Birth, old age, and death. The number 11 and 12 are the effects again. These effects refers to the future life. How my future life will be like. So, if we look at the 12 links, then we see twofold cause and effect. The twofold cause and effect, 两重因果. Cause from previous life, number 1 and 2, leads to effects in this life, 3 through 7. And in reaction to what happens to me due to past karma, I have reactions that creates new karma. So that's a new round of cause and effect. This is really important. So number 8, 9, and 10, how I react to what is happening to me in my life is where I create new round of karma and effects, cause and effects. So that will directly affect my future. Okay, so craving, grasping, and being are the karma that I create, are the causes, and the effect is in my next life or next lifetimes. Some karma is so strong and powerful, it can affect your future many lifetimes. Now, let's look at number 11, birth. So birth also refers to, you don't necessarily get reborn as a human. This is the 6 realms of rebirth. You can reborn as a deva or heavenly being. That means you have created a lot of blessing, a lot of benefit, a lot of good things, a lot of good karma. So you get reborn in the celestial realm. and that's mostly a very good life. Or it can be reborn as Ashura. They have the blessings of heavenly beings, devas, but they are also very jealous or hateful. That's because I worked on creating good karma, but then I didn't work on my mind. I may become very jealous or hateful. Okay, so that's Asura. And then we get reborn as human beings. How do you become a human being? Well, the 5 precepts, right? Follow the 5 precepts. And then I may get reborn as an animal. How do I become an animal? Because I'm dumb. I do dumb things. I drink a lot of alcohol. I dumb my mind. I take drugs, or I don't want to learn. I don't want to learn anything. I don't learn from my experiences. I just get myself into a ignorant realm. So that's the animal, and then which have lower intelligence. And then I may get reborn into a hungry ghost because I cheated a lot of people. I taken things from others, or I could get born into the hell. Become a hell being, and that's why I create a lot of very hurtful karma, like killing people, killing lives, including killing a lot of animals, like working in a slaughterhouse. Okay, so killing mostly or other very serious bad crimes can bring me to take a rebirth in hell. And number 12, old age and death. And depends on where you're reborn, your life is shaped. And here we want to say that in the sutras, Buddha often spoke of this 12th link as from birth leads to old age and death and sorrow and lamentation and suffering and affliction. Which means most of our life has plenty of dukkha, plenty of things that happen that's not satisfactory. Okay, plenty of suffering in our lives. That's just typical. But we often shorten it to old age and death. So the 12th link refers to my whole life process. Now, ordinary people do not understand the path to enlightenment, how to get awakened. So when they have pleasant, unpleasant feelings, they react in a similar way, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And so the result is that we get reborn, cycling the 6 realms over and over and over again. Sometimes a little bit better, sometimes worse. But then we never get out of this cycle. How do we get out of samsara? How do we get out of the cycle? We have to break the chain. So another term I want to introduce is called Pudgala. Pudgala is a Buddhist term. It means basically a person. But why don't we just say a person? A man, a person. Why do we use the term? Why is this term needed? Pudgala. Pudgala is a procedural description of a person. It literally means that which transmigrates into different realms. So, a more correct way of looking at a person is that which moves from one realm to another realm, lifetime after lifetime. That's Pudgala, and that's what we are doing right now. Okay, so we need to break from this chain of 12 links. I have included a table and a diagram, so let's quickly take a look at this table. If you have understood what Shifu have said in this talk, then this table just summarizes. So we have causes and effects. We have 2 columns, which means 2 folds, 2 kinds of cause and effect. Past causes include affliction and karmic action, which is number 1 and number 2. The past causes lead to present effects, which is number 3 through 7. And then from present effects, we generate more karma. So that's causes. 8, 9, and 10. These are the new causes, leading to the effects in the future life. So the 12 links covers 2 twofold cause and effect, and three lifetimes. Three times the past life, present life, and the future life. The next diagram, the circular diagram, also illustrates the same thing. So you can take a look at this diagram yourself. Let us review what we have learned in this talk. Shifu went into more details about the 12 links of interdependence. We talk about the twofold cause and effect. Causes from past life results in my life in the present. That's the effect. And then I create new causes which lead to my future life. And we also look at the karma process into three parts: the affliction, the action, and the effects, and how the 12 links correspond to these three parts and the twofold cause and effect, and the past life, and the present life, and the future life. This is a little bit complicated, but it's not difficult, it's just a little bit involved. So if you are a little bit confused, you can listen to this talk again and look at the diagram, and it should become more clear. Next, we will talk about another perspective of the 12 links and how to end the chain, how to end the suffering, the samsara. Let us make a dedication. May the merits of our learning today be shared with all sentient beings in this world. If those are suffering, may they be freed from their suffering quickly. If they are able to understand the Dharma, may they encounter Buddhism, encounter the Dharma, and take the three refuges, and eventually become fully enlightened.